just so you know, we're recording, so that's going. So we're doing a master plan for Gillson, is looking at the overall property, and there was a plan done previously, so we like to say that's more of an update. We know this is a very special place, so to us, this is more about going in, finding ways to improve the park, and a number of and the way we usually start is by just talking to people. We want to talk to specific user groups. Like yesterday, we talked to the Coast Guard. They are abutting our property. We talked to MWRD. We've talked to Sailing Beach folks, just trying to get some different perspectives, Dog Beach folks, to understand the different parts of the park, because it's a big park, and there's a lot of users. And to that, we'll kind of synthesize all this information and develop a master plan that is actionable, that we can put budgets to, that we can help make improvements over time as we work with the board, and move that forward. So really today is just, we want to listen, we want to understand kind of what your thoughts are on this, on the swimming beach in particular, trying to get some perspectives on that part of it. Obviously, anything else is kind of open, as well as if you use the Gillson in other ways. But love to kind of open it up to you guys to give us a little bit of your thoughts. So whoever wants to start. Amy, you're on mute.
Off mute.
There we go.
I'm not the biggest beach user. I'm a big Dog Beach user, so I imagine because I do buy a token, I got flagged that way. But I've lived in Wilmette forever, raised our kids here, and now we have 3 grandchildren here, so we do use the beach a lot, and remember the old beach house well. And the new one's a great improvement. So, you know, maybe Kate is more up to date on what actually goes on at the beach, although I know this summer was a strange summer for everybody. So, but we did use the Dog Beach a lot and are very grateful for that.
Yeah, we have lived here for 3 years. I have 3 kids. We go to the beach all the time, and we're very grateful that that was possible at all this summer. So that was huge. That was our whole summer, was to just go to the beach. So yeah, I'd say we're there a lot in the summertime. Dog Beach, I do have a dog, but he's not quite ready for the Dog Beach, but we intend to be there later. And the Sailing Beach we've been on through, my son has taken like the sailing classes through the park district. So he's been on that beach, you know, to do sailing. And I don't know I forget what the beach house situation was before the new one, but it's lovely.
It was grim.
Yeah.
You're being polite, Amy, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
It had not changed since I took my kids into those, you know, bathrooms. So
yeah,
it needed to change. So.
Well, maybe just give us a little bit of, we're really trying to get a handle on functionality, things that you like, things that could be improved upon, kind of how everything works together. You know, Kate, Amy, do you guys drive there? Is parking easy? Are there conflicts when you're at the beach between sailing and swimming and all, you know, just trying to get a handle on all of these things as we put it in the mix.
Yeah, we usually we have biked, and there's all the bike parking is great. They've got the great bike racks there. Driving is always easy. I've never had a problem parking. It's pretty seamless, really. Sometimes there's some confusion about, you know, the region they call the free beach. So there's sometimes in the summer, you know, there's a question about, can we swim there? Can we not swim there? And I realized this past summer was very strange. You know, there were all kinds of, you know, it was just different this go around. But I mean, it's just, I can't think of anything I mean, the lifeguards are all just amazing and so polite and helpful. If you are doing something you're not supposed to do, you know, they're not screaming at the kids. They're just really nice about like, hey guys, we can't do X, Y, and Z. So I've been just really impressed.
I agree. We drive, whether it's to the Dog Beach or the regular beach. The parking is easy. I'm very grateful to have a Wilmette sticker, which makes it much
Yes.
easier for both. And I don't find any conflict with the sailing beach at all. I mean, I think the lifeguards keep a great eye on things, and when a boat is coming too close, they, yell at them to go, and so that hasn't been a problem. I think my daughter has 3 small kids, so I think some people are grateful that there's not a playground on the beach anymore, but I think other people, especially the kids, wish that there was a playground still on the beach. So I'd say they probably come down on the side of being glad it's not there, because it's too hard to watch kids at opposite ends of the beach if they're up at the playground and the other ones are down by the water. But I know that's something that does get talked about. But the playground near the beach is wonderful. So.
Well, I think they moved the swing. There are some swings and those like climbing structures.
Yeah.
They are on the beach, but they're kind of they were shifted over,
Yeah.
which I think is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to jump in here a little bit. This is not a surprise that you aren't coming with a lot of complaints, because we did just do a beach house in a new parking lot. We kind of expected this to be, a little more positive, less critical. But I'd ask you to think about it as is there things that are missing, things that that you're missing in your experience when you're down there, whether it's programming opportunities, amenities, services, things like that. Obviously, we're not looking to rebuild a beach house at this point. We just did that. But
Right.
things that would enhance your experience when you're down there with your friends and your family and other individuals.
Amy, I don't know, maybe like to
It's
people
fine. We can be perfect.
borrowing
It's okay. I'll take
chairs
it.
or umbrellas. I don't know if that's like a thing,
Mm-hmm.
so people don't have to haul that stuff out there. That might be fun, but
That's true, especially the big umbrellas.
Right.
Would be a useful thing. Yeah, I mean, I know the food is always really popular, and they couldn't serve it all this summer, so that's, not really a fair comparison. But I have always thought forever that they've done a great job of not letting people eat much on the beach, which keeps it cleaner and keeps
is
the
clean.
flies away and all that. So, I commend the lifeguards and the beach staff for that.
it would be the one frustrating thing was all the times getting all the way down to the beach to find out the water's closed because of the bacteria. If that could be, I don't know if it's on a website or it's pushed through an app or something, so people would know. Some easy way to check, if the swimming part's open. That might be helpful.
For sure. We definitely have some mechanisms for that. Maybe we just need to make more people aware that those exist. We have physical signage down at the beach house, but we also have an app that we use in other areas of the park district. Maybe we didn't use it this past year for the swim beach, but thank you. That's good feedback.
Yeah, that would be really, really helpful.
And then there's always some confusion when it is closed, is the dog beach open,
Oh.
So, which I think it usually is, but anyway. Mm-hmm. And I also think they do a good job. It's very hard, especially this summer when everybody was so grateful for any nice days and down at the beach, trying to keep the kids out of the water at the dog beach. It's a hard struggle, but I think they do a pretty good job of that.
I have a question about the dog beach. The fence that separates the free beach from the dog beach doesn't seem to go that far in the water. I realize the water level changes, so maybe sometimes that is up to the water, but a few times I've been down there, it seems like, anybody could, it seemed like the fence could go out a little farther.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And we last week, Tuesday, I want to say, added more sections to the fence to get it down closer to the water line, because the water levels are actually receding a little bit right now. And also in any given day, the water level right at the edge of the sand can be different depending on wind action. So it's never going to be perfect when you're dealing with a Great Lake, obviously.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we added those fences, I got a call from someone saying, oh, why'd you add those sections of fence? Now my dog can't go around it and they're on the ice and going in the water. You know,
Oh.
can you take those out? So there's never a one size
Okay.
fits all solution, but we definitely try and keep up with that. But the water moves on a daily basis. So it's not perfect every single day for sure.
Okay. Got it.
Hey, Kate, you mentioned that you ride your bike. You've ridden your bike there with your kids before. Is that right?
Yes.
I don't know where you live, but is it? And I don't know the age of your kids, but I'm just kind of thinking about, because when we've talked and looked, the infrastructure for biking is okay. We've heard a little bit about there's not like a loop or a connection. Sometimes you have to ride on the street.
That's true. Yeah.
Is there, you ride on the street? Do you feel safe doing that? Is it, once you're there, are there conflict points? Are there things that concern you?
It's all, well, I mean, it's just dicey. I have to cross the train tracks to do it. So that's, is what it is.
But once you get to Gillson, is there a good route to get to where you want to be and all the places that you use?
Yes, the times we've biked to the beach, we've actually come in, just lake down, and I think we use the sidewalk to get in.
Okay. Okay.
Right there. Yeah. No, it's been fine.
Okay.
And while you guys are at the beach, do you ever venture to other parts of the park, or do you usually come to the beach, spend your day there, and then leave?
We usually stay at the beach, although sometimes we go to that big playground in the field, but that's pretty much it.
Okay. How's the experience walking from the beach to the playground?
Great. Sometimes we park, actually not in the Gillson lot, we park down where just the free resident parking is, because it's easier, it's a shorter walk. I like that you can get on the Gillson beach. There's like 2 checkpoints, right? So you can get on if you come from the southern side and swipe your card and get in. And it's sometimes it's easier, closer parking if you want to hit the playground on the way out.
Okay. More centralized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you make that walk, you're making it down the beach then, not necessarily through the path that goes by the pavilion to the parking lot entrance of the beach house. You would go down onto the South Beach and walk the water's edge and come in at that gate where we have a person with a handheld checking device. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say from just what I've seen, when people go to the swimming beach, they tend to more or less stay at the swimming beach unless they've come a bigger distance and, spend the entire day there. But I think people combine it more when they go to the dog beach and with a group or with their extended family, and then maybe go to the playground after that. So, and that's an easy walk. You can walk on the path the whole way.
Great.
Would you be more inclined to use more of the park if there were better walking paths or parking that was more accessible throughout? Or is it just a matter of
pretty good the way it is? I think the parking along the, if you come in Gillson past the Coast Guard and park along those spots, which you would do for the dog beach or the playground, and then the beach parking lot is so big, it's never seems to be an issue.
Yeah, I think it's adequate. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I hope this summer they have the issue of having kids at camp and, shepherding them while the beach is busy and full. That will be a golden problem, I think, for all of us.
Yeah.
Do either of you ever use that big meadow area? The huge big green area, on the south that really it's, near the playground, but.
I mean, we have, not often, but, we have for, again, not this year, but, bigger groups. It's a good place. And it's wonderful to have that open space. I mean, I think people really love seeing that. So
Yeah, I would say not often, but we've definitely been to like little birthday gatherings there and
Mhm,
just kids run around.
mhm.
I can share a map of this site that maybe helps you guys understand the relationship of things a bit better. Can everyone see my screen?
Mhm.
So yeah, here's, the swimming beach, and this is the meadow open space that Deb is referring to.
Right.
So your experience when you come to the swimming beach is typically via lake, and you
Right.
swing down, come in and park in here, or
Yeah. Or the
or
other
you
way.
come through the southern entrance past the Coast Guard and park it along these.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
But I know my daughter, who, 11:15 is a terrible time for her, but she would never do that if she was going to the swimming beach. She would go directly to the beach parking lot and park there.
Sure.
This past summer, I did it from the south just because it was so much less crowded. We're trying to like keep pretty good distances. And it
Yeah.
was markedly less crowded on
Yeah.
that southern end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do either of you ever use the picnic pavilion that's nearby?
My son is in a Boy Scout group and they have used it.
Yeah. Probably ages ago, but not recently.
Sure.
Yeah, you mentioned that you used the sailing beach, or was that your son?
Yeah, my son did like the sailing classes.
Okay. Is the experience good there? Are there any improvements there? We just had a whole discussion with the sailing folks, but you're here, so I guess.
No, it was great. The only thing that kind of threw me a little bit was I was just nervous to because I didn't have a sailing beach patch or a pass, so I was a little nervous about where am I supposed to drop him and can I drive through and turn around to come out. And they were generally pretty nice about, yes, you can pull in, drop the kid, and go around. But yeah, it's great.
Okay.
I'm just curious, do you ever walk along the harbor area? I look at the boats and things like that. Are kids into that? I'm just curious.
They are, but my youngest is he just turned 3, and it's just dicey there along the edge, so we haven't done it recently.
Yeah.
We're close. Maybe this summer he can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people like that. And, they like to walk out along the rocks. The kids do.
Yeah.
At the dog beach.
What are your overall thoughts of kind of like aesthetics and the way it looks? And I mean, there are probably areas of the park that maybe need improvement from that standpoint, but curious to hear your opinions on that.
I think it's beautiful. I can't think of anything that, I know you're looking for like constructive stuff, but
Everything's wonderful.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, feel pretty fortunate. Are there any plans to use the Wallace Bowl for, anything? I know they can't plan right now, but that's always been a nice spot.
When you say use the Wallace Bowl for anything, can we drill down on that a little bit? Because
Yeah.
are you saying, are we going to put our historical programming back in place, or
Right.
are you asking if or do you have ideas, I should say, about other ways we could use the space that you would like to suggest?
Yeah. Well, the programming has always been great, but I think the camp groups use it sometimes.
We do.
That's,
Yeah, it's kind of home base for our large camp down there, Great Gillson.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah,
we will be utilizing it. We're not going to let it go into mothballs.
right. That's good. And what about the Lakeview Center? I mean, that doesn't seem to get used for too much. I mean, I guess there are some classes there when they were offering classes, but in person, any plans for that?
Yes, actually, we're currently looking at the facility itself and considering ways that we can improve it to improve usage by the community.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a gorgeous spot that it would be nice to utilize it more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we think too, quite
Mhm.
frankly. So we're looking into ways to better develop it so we can offer multifaceted programs or rental opportunities at both the Lakeview Center and Wallace Bowl, quite frankly,
Yeah.
right? So we need to take a hard look at how we're utilizing that,
Right.
and staff is doing that. So thank you for your feedback. We feel the
Yeah.
same way. It's an untouched resource down there that we
Right.
need to tap into a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, the Wallace Bowl is so weather dependent that enters into it, but it's great. I do know the tennis courts down there get used all the time. I mean, that's a great place.
Mhm.
Great courts. Is there a skating rink down there this winter?
Yes, there is currently.
Yeah. That's good.
Have either of you used the Lakeview Center before? And if so, where do you typically park, or how do you access it?
I've never used it. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I've used it years ago, and I guess people just parked along the road. I don't remember going to anything too big there where it was a problem, or else it was not swimming beach season, so people could park, in the swim lot. So yeah, but certainly if you tried to do anything during the day, during the summer, it would probably be an issue.
I always like to ask kind of sometimes when we hit lots of different topics, kind of maybe a little bit of an out there question, but it makes people think a little bit. You've obviously been to great open spaces or parks or places around the country, maybe around the world. Is there anything from any of your travels you'd say, boy, I'd really like to have something like that in our community, or something like that really belongs here? It's a little bit of a wild card, but it opens up your mind to other opportunities. Steve's like,
Maybe.
No, I just love that they both said, at the
I
same
know.
moment.
Yeah.
I mean, we feel so lucky to have it. But I do think, we have all these great restaurants now in Wilmette. Maybe there could be something where, early evening, a restaurant could come down there and serve. I think that would be fun. I know they've done like a taste of Wilmette over the 4th, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe they did it on other times, but that would be a fun idea to help the restaurants and provide something fun.
You're thinking of
like,
maybe just
like
a little bit
pop-uppers?
Yeah, like a pop-up. Yeah,
like a pop.
exactly.
And focused along evening programming as opposed to daytime? Or
Well,
anytime.
I mean, during the weekend, I think anytime would be good. I think during the week, it would get a better response if it was, like a late afternoon thing.
Okay.
Are you kind of picturing yourself having a meal and overlooking the lake?
Right. Letting that would be really lovely. And I know the restaurants have been so creative with everything they've been trying to do that, that's limited to nice weather in the summer, but it would be fun.
Right.
But yeah, I think Kate's idea about renting some of the bigger equipment would be, could be very popular.
I just thought of something else. This summer, I was so confused about what the rules were around paddle boarding. Like, if you had to be, maybe just, I didn't understand it, but Like, do you have to be a member of the sailing beach to do it? Especially if you just bring one in, you know, because I saw people doing it kind of at that southern end of the beach at funny times, and I never knew what the.
Yeah, so we have multiple ways to facilitate paddleboard use. So there is slots on our sailing beach that are for paddleboards. They're fully subscribed. There's a long waiting list.
Right.
But we also do a trail-in permit where if you bring it to and from and you launch down closer to the rock pier by the dog beach most days, that's available as well. So those you apply for a permit. It's a much lower cost than the sailing beach. You get a sticker for your vessel, and then that's where you come in and go.
Okay.
Actually, looking out the window at the snow, I know that's Lakeview Center used to rent cross-country skis. And I think that was pretty popular for a while. So I own some. I have no idea if they still do that, but I know I had gone there in the past, just to try to get it to be more of a year-round facility.
That would be incredible to be able to, but is it really big enough? I'm trying to imagine where.
Well, people just went around the, you know, the big green space, and especially if you were with kids, that was big enough.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's plenty of work for kids, right?
I'll jump in just in case you either of you are not aware. We actually groom a ski trail at the golf course when we have enough snow.
Oh, right.
There's right now, because of the snow, we have a fully groomed trail across the entire golf course that you can get
I just
on.
discovered that yesterday.
And we don't rent skis because while you're recalling it, Amy, that we did it, my predecessors have told me just how not successful it was. But
I bet.
That doesn't mean it won't be successful somewhere in the future, but tends to be in this community. People have the resources to own their own equipment, and they're very particular about their equipment. So they tend to have what they prefer to use.
And same things for skates, I would imagine. Yeah, I'm gonna just let my dog out and back. Okay, Bernie.
Hey, Kate, back to Scott's question. He kind of asked about your travels or your world or parks or spaces that you've seen. Maybe it's a more simplified one in that, are there places that you go in Wilmette, Evanston, or around other communities that have something at a park that you would really love to have here?
It's a great question. I really can't think of anything that's.
Yeah. I mean, I know people love the Lake Forest Beach, although I don't think they really offer much that Wilmette doesn't, but it's a very pretty spot. And we are lucky because, Glencoe, Winnetka, they have a much longer walk down to the beach. So, I can't off the top of my head think of anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you mentioned the Lake Forest Beach, I know that they've got several little pavilion areas that people can rent out for family parties and things like that. I know that it's pretty, you've got to jump on those quickly in order to secure your spot. I'm wondering, and we've got the one picnic pavilion here, and I think it's pretty popular. Have you used that before? Do you see people using that? Do you see a need for maybe another one somewhere in the park?
I'm probably not the best one to answer it. I don't see it used that much other than on the weekends, and actually the meadow area seems to get used more for picnics because you don't necessarily have to sign up ahead if you're not grilling or using that equipment.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with it really.
Okay.
But are those at Lake Forest, is that on the beach or is that in the park?
They're down by the beach.
Okay.
Yeah. I only know because my brother used to live there and several events there, and we always had to jump on them early.
So when you brought up the skis earlier, it made me think about how generally people view Gillson Park as a summer place, which is natural given the lake and the beaches and all of the wonderful activities that happen in the summer. But there is the ice skating rink that gets put up in the winter time. And if you were to come there for the ice skating rink, are there any sorts of things that you would like to have around, be it, you know, hot chocolate even as a simple little amenity, or some sort of fire pit or things like that that can just make the experience a little bit nicer?
Where is the ice skating rink?
It's in this area generally.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, in the ideal world, that all sounds nice, because some of the other ones, like we live near Thornwood and there's a skating rink there, but if you go there, you're probably pretty close to home, so you can go home if you need to use the restroom or whatever. But the beach is a different story. Yeah, you know, fire pits are great. People love those. So, you know, having areas like that people could use or even rent. It's tough because we've had a lot of winters where it doesn't get cold enough and they don't end up, for an extended period, and they don't end up opening the skating rinks, or not for long. But Steve, do you think they ever think about doing a permanent one the way Glencoe has? Permanent ice rink?
There have, you know, that's one of those topics that in my 12 years in Wilmette, it's probably every other year someone asks about that. And the cost, the infrastructure of that, and the variability of the weather makes it kind of hard to do some of that stuff. So maybe not so much the way Glencoe does it, but the way Winnetka does an outdoor ice rink, they're impacted by weather differently because they didn't invest quite as much up front as Glencoe does. So it's talked about all the time, and at this point, we just haven't chosen to pursue that. But it's definitely something that is of constant discussion and interest.
Well, anytime when you get into a permanent, you know, bathrooms that can be open to the public, it's always a little dicey. And I know that's always been what stopped Thornwood, I think, from putting that up.
Let's see. Yeah, does anybody have any further thoughts? Just generally about the park.
How many of these focus groups have you done or are you doing?
I think we did 4 yesterday, 4 today, all sorts of different user groups: dog beach, sailing beach, swim beach, neighbors along the park's edge, regulatory bodies, Coast Guard station. So we're trying to talk to as many people as we can.
Oh, good.
There's going to be a generalized, larger open house coming in February for people to participate, and we're going to have avenues on our website for people to provide feedback and thoughts as things are developed, and we'll have an ongoing dialogue for a while.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Yeah, and we should say that we will be coming back with ideas and thoughts to the community at some point in time. So you're going to be able to see lots of ideas that'll pick up on some of the themes and topics and thoughts that you've had throughout this. So this is just one touch point with people. Right. It's really hard to like sit here and think of all these things. Sometimes it's much easier to react to our solutions and ideas, but we really want to make sure that we're, you know, put the feelers out, listen to people, get as much as you can before we start going off and doing our thing. So thank you for the time.
Good. You're welcome. I'm glad to help.
Great. Thank you very much, guys.
Everybody.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you.
Take care.
Have a good day.